Hello and welcome to Inside Sports. I'm Wes Decker. It's great to have you along this week. As the events get fewer, their significance becomes greater. And we begin with football, and Week 10's football provided the potential for all kinds of intrigue. The three county rivalry matchups alone presented us with new historical chapters, playoff implications, and season punctuation points or not. But we start with Hancock closing out back-to-back winning campaigns for the first time in over a decade. And over the last 2 years, nobody has epitomized the Panthers' drive to be successful more than Jesse Wolford. His final game for Hancock was merely a microcosm of what he does. Wolford carried the ball 24 times for 292 yards, numbers that, while commonplace for him, ultimately lifted him to an uncommon place within the county. More on that shortly. But back to Friday night, where number 88 scored 3 of the Panthers' 6 touchdowns and threw a 2-point conversion pass to fellow senior standout Noah Teeter, as the pair concluded their Hancock careers by leading the Panthers to their 11th 40-plus point scoring performance in the coach Todd Rupenthal era in a 41-29 victory over Berkeley Springs. The defense also contributed mightily, spending a considerable amount of time making plays since they faced 82 of them. The total team effort nailed down their 15th victory in the last 2 years. Huge, considering that Hancock's previous 15 wins had come over 5 seasons. The Panthers finished this one 6-3. At Clear Spring, 2 5-4 teams faced off as the Blazers still had an outside shot at their first ever playoff berth, but would unquestionably have to defeat the ill-humored Williamsport Wildcats, who had just been knocked out of postseason contention the previous Friday themselves in order to even think about playing in Week 11. Beating the Cats was a task Clear Spring had never accomplished in 10 prior tries, and Williamsport quarterback Savon Brown, who came in needing 39 yards passing for his second consecutive 1,000-yard passing, 1,000-yard rushing season, set out to repeat history on both counts on Williamsport's second play. Brown followed his 52-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Taylor with a 34-yarder to Colby Byers on the Wildcats' second possession to open a 14-0 first quarter lead. On the initial play of quarter number 2, Brown reminded the Blazers just what a weapon his legs are too. For the record, it was a 74-yard reminder, his county best 20th rushing touchdown. He added another TD toss to Byers before Jordan Stonebreaker scored the first of his 2 touchdowns on the night as the Wildcats took a 32-0 advantage to halftime and cruised to a 40-6 victory that clinched their first winning season since 1999. As for Brown, he ends the year with 1,177 passing yards and 1,376 rushing yards. The 112 he ran for in the game pushed him past Blazer running back Joe McCoy, who entered the week as the county's leading ground gainer, but was held to just 34 yards against Williamsport, vaulting Brown 46 ahead of the Clear Spring sophomore. However, with the aforementioned Wolford's gargantuan night, it was the Panther who surged to the top of the county rushing list, outdistancing everyone to claim the championship with 1,404. 1962, year 6 of a series now in its 58th, marked the only time that North and South entered the Hagerstown Gridiron Championship game with the South undefeated and North winless. Before last Friday, that is. The Hubs looked like anything but an 0-9 team early, capping an opening 9-play, 65-yard drive when Calvin Bembry darted into the end zone from 10 yards out. North made that 7-0 lead stand up until the early stages of the second quarter when an 11-play Hubs drive came to a halt inches short of the South 20 on 4th down. That's when everything transformed into a series of green end zone bound blurs. 2 South touchdowns in a span of 1 minute and 55 seconds became 3 touchdowns in 5 minutes and 37 seconds, and eventually 4 TDs in 10 minutes and 2 seconds, with Darian Robinson and DeMaurier James each accounting for a pair of scores as the Rebels rolled up 257 second quarter yards that put 28 points on the board, before adding 18 more then in the third quarter. In all, South scored 7 touchdowns, 6 of which covered 45 yards or more. Robinson finished with a career-high 252 yards rushing against his old school, while James touched the ball 3 times and victimized North all 3 times en route to 138 yards. While the Hubs year ends 0-10, the Rebels' first ever 10-0 season earns them their second straight playoff berth. Despite their unblemished record in 3A West, the best they could do is a number 3 seed that sends them back to where their season ended last year, Linganore, this Friday night. Last Friday, with the chance to finish with a winning record for the 4th consecutive season, 5-4 Boonesboro visited 3-6 Smithsburg, with the Leopards seeking their first victory over the Warriors in the last 4 meetings. Boonesboro solved the defensive puzzle of a first half when Owen Glass scooted 27 yards for the only touchdown of the opening 24 minutes midway through the second quarter. While Smithsburg's propensity for committing penalties hampered its efforts before the intermission, the Leopards' commitment to the run superseded it afterwards. Following Dylan Curtis's tying TD scamper, the Smithsburg quarterback helped set up his own passing game, connecting with Ali Robinson to put the Leopards on top 13-7 going to the fourth quarter, a lead that lasted just 24 seconds into the final stanza when Zach Grams knotted things at 13. But it was a tie that would ultimately require overtime to break thanks to Smithsburg's 3rd red zone stop and Boonesboro's 3rd missed kick of the night. The Leopards wasted little time snapping the deadlock in OT when Curtis connected with Robinson on the second play. However, while digging deep into the bag of tricks to make it an 8-point difference might have scored points for creativity, it failed to put any on the scoreboard, and the onus was on the Smithsburg D to preserve a 19-13 edge. And for 3 plays, the Leopards stood their ground. It then took some Warrior misdirection on 4th down to forge the tie and left it up to the shaky right foot of Nate Saunders to decide it. This time, the senior steadily and coolly booted the ball through the uprights, enabling Boonesboro to prevail 20-19 in an overtime thriller. For 2 enigmatic teams that were their own worst enemies at times this season, the struggle to a finish seemed completely apropos. Looking ahead, next year's game could hold even more importance, given that the Warriors are headed back to the 1A classification that Smithsburg never left. Stay tuned. As it turned out, the football field was about the only place the Leopards didn't leave victorious this past weekend. The rest of the show takes on a resplendent purple and gold glow, starting with state cross-country champions from the Berg right here next.
Behind every great child, there is a great foundation. Premier Martial Arts will empower your child and give them a premier foundation to success. Our instructors have the passion to teach classes designed to build premier skills. Your child will develop greater self-control, confidence, and concentration. Premier Martial Arts will take your child up the path of greatness. Call Premier Martial Arts today.
Since 1963, you've been trusting the folks at Hagerstown Floors. It's still a family-owned and operated business featuring a variety of high-quality flooring choices for your home, like carpet, ceramic, hardwood, vinyl, and we offer floor sanding and refinishing for your existing hardwoods. And you'll find us stocked warehouse, full of flooring options for do-it-yourselfers or take advantage of our in-house installers for expert installation. Hagerstown Floors on Virginia Avenue in Hagerstown, the trusted name in flooring since 1963.
For over 25 years, Tony's Pizzeria has been serving authentic Italian cuisine. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Stop by today and enjoy one of their many house favorites, made fresh from scratch daily, in the newly expanded and remodeled dining area. Serving a full liquor bar, beer, and wine, Tony's 50-person banquet room is perfect for your next celebration. Dine in, take out, or delivery. Come see what's new at Tony's Pizzeria Restaurant and Grill, 10 East Salisbury Street in Williamsport.
Welcome back to the show. At the State Cross Country Championships on Saturday, the county was well represented. From the South Hagerstown girls' first ever appearance at Hereford to a potential sweep of the 1A titles by Smithsburg's teams and other storylines in between, everything was on the line at the season's penultimate meet. While the Rebel girls may have just been happy to make history, county champion Darren Harmon of South Hagerstown was out to make an impact in the 3A boys race. The junior remained in the top flight throughout, and his time of 17 minutes, 10.8 seconds was good for 17th out of 178 runners, earning Harmon his first state medal. After bringing back a medal for a 4th place finish at Westminster last year, Boonesboro junior Haley Wright stepped onto the Hereford course on Saturday afternoon with a bigger prize in mind. Wright had won all 10 races she had run coming in, including one over the very same ground back in September. While she didn't get the lead from the break, it didn't take her long to assume her familiar spot at the front. Although Patuxent sophomore Haley Jackson remained in her footsteps, and by the time they came up the dip for the second time, Jackson had surged to the lead and Wright had dropped back with 2 other runners in between. At the finish, Wright came in nearly 28 seconds behind her, and for the second straight year, she placed 4th. fourth out of 152 starters. Still, not a bad conclusion to a year during which she was expected to be second best on her team. Speaking of teams, the Smithsburg boys, fresh off their upset victory over Southern Garrett at the West Region meet, sought to shock the state on Saturday. While the Leopards placed 2, Will Merritt and Patrick Conlon, in the top 7, Southern put 2 in the top 6 and 5 in the top 17 to easily outdistance second-place Bohemia Manor by 37 points. Smithsburg was 49 back and forth, 1 point out of third behind Northern Garrett, as the West Region captured 3 of the top 4 spots in 1A. The 1A Girls State Championship race had provided that very same heartbreak for Smithsburg a year ago, but by an even slimmer margin, just 2 points. Intent on not succumbing to a repeat ending, the young team that had already won county and region titles went out and added the big one to its treasure trove on Saturday. And that's why I'm joined by 4 of those state champions right now, and you can tell by the smiles on their faces, very happy with their accomplishment. Noemi Anaya is here, along with Erica Lindsay, Quinn Wondolowski, and Mallory Moholt. Welcome to the show, girls. And terrific effort on Saturday, no question about it. Noemi, let me start with you. Tell me a little bit about, last year and the way that went down versus preparing for this year.
Okay, well, with me, I wasn't on the team last year, but I heard a lot about it. And coming 2 points behind being a state champion, I think really hits you. And I've seen this year how all of the girls from last year worked so hard for it, and they were always like, okay, we have to win. We have to do this. We're not going to let what happened last year happen again. And therefore, I wasn't going to let them down either, so I worked hard for it as well.
Yeah, because you don't want to be the weak link in that team by any means. Mallory, I know you were part of what happened the year before, right?
Yeah. At
Westminster. So you get to go to Hereford this year. You've heard everything about how vaunted a course that is. Is that a tough course? I mean, you finished second overall, but how does that rank in terms of the courses that you've run on?
At Bull Run, or what we ran it this year, that was the first time I ran it.
Right.
And I think our course is also like challenging and stuff, but when you get a Bull Run, it's like how mentally strong you are. And it's just like, it's hard, but you just have to get through it.
Quinn, was it tough on Saturday knowing the prize that you wanted to earn before the day was over, and just being patient with running because you see runners ahead of you and all, and then you just keep thinking, hey, we need places, we need this, we need that. Is it tough during the course of the race just to sort of rein yourself in?
Of course, it's very difficult when you're in the second mile and your legs are really hurting and you still have that huge dip to get over. But it's also a big motivational thing where I need to get past all these runners so that we can earn the state title, because that was the biggest goal in our whole season. And after just coming out of that loss last year, it just made us even more determined to get it this year.
Erica, on Saturday, how would you characterize the race that you ran? I mean, finishing third overall in the state. Tell me about your day.
Well, I was very nervous going into it. I remember our hills practice, the last practice of the season up until states. That was very difficult for me. I don't know if it was for them, but I know it was for me. I probably was for a lot of people. And I think just being prepared helped us. And so going into the race, we were saying to ourselves, we can do it. And I think just going into it, focusing on what's ahead of me, I think that helped a lot.
Were you surprised at where you ended up, or you were?
Yes,
definitely?
It was surreal. I didn't know what was going on, but I just went along with it.
Well, sometimes it's best not to know, and very pleasantly surprised. Tell me what the state championship means to you. As you said, kind of a newcomer to this team, but you make it happen. Maybe you were the difference maker, Noemi.
Well, I've never done a sport before. Last year was my first year running ever cross country or anything at all. And last year, my old team, we only went to regions and we didn't make it. So this year, coming on this great team, I was like, I have a chance to have my senior year and win a state champion and end my high school career like that. And I really just really worked so hard for it, and accomplishing it was like probably the best thing ever.
Would everybody concur with that? Couldn't be happier. I love seeing the medals here too. I mean, fantastic day overall. And you know, I hate to look ahead to next year, but 3 of you will be back next season. So, can this happen again?
Definitely.
Yeah, I love the confidence. Well, girls, thank you so much for being here. Congratulations. And look forward to seeing you here in the future, too. So appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll be back right after this. Inside Sports continues. More Smithsburg on the show. Smithsburg Girls Soccer with Coach Victor De La Maya in just a moment.
Since 1963, you've been trusting the folks at Hagerstown Floors. It's still a family-owned and operated business featuring a variety of high-quality flooring choices for your home, like carpet, ceramic, hardwood, vinyl, and we offer floor sanding and refinishing for your existing hardwoods. And you'll find us stocked warehouse, full of flooring options for do-it-yourselfers, or take advantage of our in-house installers for expert installation. Hagerstown Floors on Virginia Avenue in Hagerstown, the trusted name in flooring since 1963.
For over 25 years, Tony's Pizzeria has been serving authentic Italian cuisine. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Stop by today and enjoy one of their many house favorites, made fresh from scratch daily, in the newly expanded and remodeled dining area. Serving a full liquor bar, beer, and wine, Tony's 50-person banquet room is perfect for your next celebration. Dine in, take out, or delivery. Come see what's new at Tony's Pizzeria Restaurant and Grill, 10 East Salisbury Street in Williamsport.
Behind every great child, there is a great foundation. Premier Martial Arts will empower your child and give them a premier foundation to success. Our instructors have the passion to teach classes designed to build premier skills. Your child will develop greater self-control, confidence, and concentration. Premier Martial Arts will take your child up the path of greatness. Call Premier Martial Arts today.
Welcome back to the show. We continue now with girls soccer, and I'm joined by Smithsburg head coach Victor De La Maya. Welcome back to the show. Hasn't been that long since we've seen you, but 3 big victories since, and now sitting on the threshold of a potential state championship. Tell me a little bit about this journey that's gotten you back to this point, because there's a little bit of deja vu going back to face Sparrows Point for all the marbles.
Yeah, there is the deja vu at the end, but the trip this year is a little different than last year's trip in that this year we had a confident, experienced group going through. They knew the steps they had to take. They knew the challenges in front of them. They already practiced a little bit of redemption. Hopefully we can carry on and have a little more come Saturday as well. But yeah, the trip has been a little different, but much the same. And the results have come, and the girls have gotten their rhythm at the right time of the year.
How impressed are you with the way that they have performed now that this second season, as we call it, has hit? Because clearly they wanted to be at this point when last season ended. They wanted to play that game over, but to be able to get all the way back, and after a masterful performance on Saturday night against Manchester Valley, talk a little bit about how impressed you've been with what they've done.
Well, yeah, I'm just thoroughly impressed with this group. Continuously. I mean, they've, again, put challenges in front of themselves, and they've knocked each one down. We had 4 losses this year. We've been fortunate enough to bring 2 of them back and make them playoff victories. Just the character of the squad. I mean, they continue to reinvent themselves every game and find another vital asset that allows them to pull out a victory.
And if you're a team scouting Smithsburg right now, you really can't focus on stopping anybody, because during the regular season, Haley David was the leading scorer, but in each game in the playoffs, it's been somebody else who stepped up.
Yeah, it's just the mentality with the girls is who's next? Who's the next one that is going to step up and be the game changer for us? And the wonderful thing about this group is they don't mind who the game changer is, as long as someone steps up. And it's not like they put it off on somebody else or expect somebody else to do it. We've been blessed with incredible depth, and each day another girl steps up and is just a superstar that day. And that's a real blessing. It goes back to the coaching staff has done a great job with all the girls. And really, I think the point of the season that was changing was when we went through that 4 games in 5 days. It was just, we really found out what our character was. And our run since then has been a memorable one.
It seems that this season, and I've talked about it with the different players who have stepped up and scored the goals, but the goal scoring, there's been a little more of that, which takes a little more of the pressure off of the defense. But Corinne Burke in that shutout against Manchester Valley was absolutely sensational in that game.
Oh, absolutely. And the whole defense as a whole, Taryn Kirshner, Rebecca Morales, Paige Cutchy, and you can't say enough about Fiona as well. Fiona has done an outstanding job for us. But Corinne, I mean, you were at the game, she came up with 2 or 3 oh my gosh saves. I mean, it was just unbelievable how she stepped up. And that's what a senior leader does. They step up and they take, and other seniors have stepped up with Erica, Haley, Sarah Duckworth. They've all taken their role and run with it.
And you were facing a team who had a striker with 24 goals on the season, which is unheard of when you look at soccer within Washington County itself. So that was a whole different animal there. But this Smithsburg team, what's the confidence level right now? Because I sensed when that game ended on Saturday night that it was absolutely sky high. Now you try to temper that, I'm sure, with a week of practice until Saturday. But at the same time, what's your feeling with that team right now?
Right now, again, I go back to one of our coined sayings with the girls is it's quiet confidence. They go about their business, they go about practice. As a coach, you try to help them understand at the long run it's still a game.
Yeah.
It's a game with a lot of circumstances and a lot of goals that you have in it, but if it's not fun, it's tough. And they're having fun right now. They're playing what the Dutch used to call a total football. I mean, I can put anybody on the field anywhere and they know the job and they do a great job doing it. I mean, we can switch to a back 4, we can stay with a back 3, we can go with 4 in the midfield, we can go 5 in the midfield. It's just tactically they're so flexible, it's unbelievable because they enjoy the game and they enjoy playing with one another, and that's the secret to success. Well,
you play at Loyola University, brand new facility there. What do you last year obviously you were at UMBC, so you had a little familiarity with that particular venue. What have you told them about where they're going to play, or does it even matter where this game is played?
Well, I've been blessed with knowing one of the former Loyola coaches, so I got a feeling of what the field's like a little bit. It's a big field. It's a beautiful turf field, so we've played on turf before, and they can play a fast game on it. They can play a possession game, but Sparrows Point can as well, and they're always going to be dangerous with their speed and their athleticism. So anybody who comes to the game noon on Saturday is going to be in for, I'm thinking, one of the best games in the state finals this year, just as like it was last year. I mean,
certainly looking forward to it, Coach. Sparrows Point and Smithsburg the Leopards going after their first state title since 2006. Best of luck, and again, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, and we always appreciate your support and coverage of Smithsburg Athletics.
Well, it's always fun to do it. You make it fun. I will be back right after this. Going to wrap things up this week with some volleyball when we come back in just a moment.
For over 25 years, Tony's Pizzeria has been serving authentic Italian cuisine. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Stop by today and enjoy one of their many house favorites, made fresh from scratch daily, in the newly expanded and remodeled dining area. Serving a full liquor bar, beer, and wine, Tony's 50-person banquet room is perfect for your next celebration. Dine in, take out, or delivery. Come see what's new at Tony's Pizzeria Restaurant and Grill, 10 East Salisbury Street in Williamsport.
Since 1963, you've been trusting the folks at Hagerstown Floors. It's still a family-owned and operated business featuring a variety of high-quality flooring choices for your home, like carpet, ceramic, hardwood, vinyl, and we offer floor sanding and refinishing for your existing hardwoods. And you'll find us stocked warehouse, full of flooring options for do-it-yourselfers, or take advantage of our in-house installers for expert installation. Hagerstown Floors on Virginia Avenue in Hagerstown, the trusted name in flooring since 1963.
Behind every great child, there is a great foundation. Premier Martial Arts will empower your child and give them a premier foundation to success. Our instructors have the passion to teach classes designed to build premier skills. Your child will develop greater self-control, confidence, and concentration. Premier Martial Arts will take your child up the path of greatness. Call Premier Martial Arts today.
ESPN, serving football fans everywhere.
Watch ESPN's Monday Night Football right here on Antietam Cable Television, proudly sponsored locally by Meritus Health.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. When we left off in volleyball's second season, 4 county schools were still alive in the hunt for a state championship. Boonesboro had already upset top-seeded Mountain Ridge to reach the 2A West Section 1 final at number 2 seed Oakdale. But that proved to be the end of the road for the Warriors, bowing out valiantly 3-1 to the eventual region champs last Wednesday to finish the year 11-7. Clear Spring season came to an end the same night at the hands of Smithsburg in the 1A West Section 2 final, swept from the tournament in 3 sets to wind up 9-8 as the Leopards' quest continued as section champs. Meanwhile, at North Hagerstown, the Hubs clinched the 3A West Section 1 title with a 3-0 victory over Tuscarora. Thus, North had earned the rematch with the reigning and defending region and state champs it desired last Saturday, and they made short work of Damascus in the Hornets' own gym to capture the West Region title and a trip to the 3A Final Four Monday night at the University of Maryland's Ritchie Coliseum. There, the Hubs drew South Region champion Huntingtown in the evening's first state semifinal. While Huntingtown's nickname is the Hurricanes, chances are they had never experienced a Category 6 storm like North brought to the net that night. Number 6, Jay LaBelle, was nearly unstoppable, literally killing the Canes' chances at surviving her storm and advancing. Yes, the usual suspects contributed big points and big plays too, but it was the Hubs' junior outside hitter who hit Huntingtown the hardest and made it hurt the most as Bell rung up a match-high 20 kills in a 25-20, 25-13, 25-20 North Hagerstown win that vaults the Hubs into the state championship match opposite Glen Elg. I asked Zoe Schreiber after Monday's victory what her confidence level is to win her second state title.
I'm confident, and I think we've earned the right to become confident going in, but, we got to respect the other teams and respect everyone else in the tournament because, any team can beat any other team on any given day. But for the most part, I'm optimistic about it.
It's an optimism that has to be throttled back and put on hold until Friday, and although Kalia Frost says that'll be difficult, she'll use the time for an ancillary purpose.
It's really hard to wait because, we just want to be back on the court again playing and back with competition. But, we recruit friends, family, hey, come down Friday. But overall, we'll practice hard and we'll prepare for Friday.
North will be more than ready to play for its third state championship in 4 years Friday night at 8. That's the match that follows Smithsburg's attempt at wearing 5 state 1A crowns in the last 6 years. The Leopards got back to College Park by disposing of defending region and state champ Fort Hill last Friday night in straight sets. In so doing, like North Hagerstown, Smithsburg avenged the defeat in its region championship match that eliminated them a year ago. Back on the floor at Ritchie Coliseum Tuesday night, the Leopards were quickly reminded everyone else, almost painfully so, just how good they are and how poor some of the competition is in 1A in other parts of the state. The best the South Region had to offer, Forest Park, committed enough of its own errors that Smithsburg didn't have to do much more than put the ball in play. The Leopards cruised to an embarrassingly easy 25-2, 25-4, 25-11 semifinal victory that puts them into the state title tilt Friday evening at 6 versus Perryville, the champions of the East. Incidentally, the state champ in 1A has come from the West 15 of the last 16 years, with Smithsburg responsible for bringing home 7 of those trophies. The Leopards will be gunning for state championship number 10 overall, which would give them third place all to themselves on the all-time list, behind Williamsport's 13 and Centennial's 14. Best of luck to both Smithsburg and North Hagerstown in their endeavors to capture the gold on Friday. Next week on the show, our second to last of the fall sports season, we'll bring you complete coverage of the volleyball and girls soccer title bids and South Hagerstown's attempt to remain unbeaten and win its second ever playoff football game. You'll get it all here next time. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you at the games and matches and right here again next week on The Inside.
Hey, your sisters and your brothers, your haters and your lovers, you gotta get up in the streets.